Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. My name is Weatherzilla, and today we're going to be talking about Tropical Storm Danielle and its possible hurricane potential, and a lot more coming from the tropics. Before I do get started with the video, I would ask that you do subscribe and hit that great notification bell icon to never miss one of my videos. We got a lot of great content possibly coming up here really soon. Storm chasing, and we'll be covering the winter season and the severe weather season when that rolls back around. And also smash that like button. Thank you guys so much for your support on the last video. It really means a lot, to take a year-long break and then to come back and have such great support on that video. Thank you guys so much. We'll be trying to get these videos out on an every other day, or if it's really important, we'll do it everyday basis. So let's look at the National Hurricane Center's 2-day outlook. So we have obviously Tropical Storm Danielle that formed way up north, and obviously we have another system, Invest 91L, right down here with a 40 to 60% chance of forming, and then another wave that we talked about the other day with under a 40% chance of forming in the next 2 days. But on the 5 days, Invest 91L still has about an upper 80% chance of forming, and then this other wave really not much a concern right now in the next 5 days, but it does have possibly some potential to form into a depression, and we'll show you guys that later on. Alright, so let's start with Tropical Storm Danielle. So the National Hurricane Center is expecting this storm to become a hurricane within the next 48 to 96 hours. It is currently at 38.1 north, 44.7 west, and is at 40 miles per hour with its winds, and is currently moving east very slowly at 2 miles per hour. So now we're going to look at some satellite imagery. You can see we have some deeper convection starting to take place right in the center of this storm, and then obviously possibly some banding features down here at the bottom and up at the northwestern part of the system. And then obviously here on the water vapor, it's going to show the same story as we just saw. Deep convection starting to take place on the where the low is, right in the middle of the storm. And now we're going to be looking at the model intensity guidance. So a lot of the models are pretty consistent with it possibly being a hurricane, or it will becoming a hurricane. And then it's just going to be a matter of how strong does this system want to become. A lot of the models are thinking a upper Cat 1, possibly a low in Cat 2, but you see that one model at the top thinking it's going to become a major hurricane, which I don't think is going to happen at all. I would think possibly a high-end Cat 1, maybe a low-end Cat 2 if it has enough time to develop into that. And then here on the track guidance, you can see a lot of the models have it kind of sitting where it's at right now for the next 72 hours. And then obviously after that, the models have it going north up towards the North Pole. So now we're going to be looking at the models from the GFS, so you can always keep track of where we are on the time and date and what forecast hour we are at. Where'd my pen go? There it is. Up here at the top of your screen, forecast hour 6, and that is the time and the date, obviously. So let's take a look at this so you can see this is currently where everything is at. Here is Tropical Storm Danielle, here is Invest 91L, and then here is that wave coming off the coast of Africa. As we fast forward to forecast hour 72, Tropical Storm Danielle is at a hurricane status at 980, and then Invest 91L down here just to the north of the Leeward Islands has possibly formed with a 1006 millibar low, and then that wave coming off of Africa still trying to do something here. But as we fast forward to hour 114, as you can see, that wave coming off of Africa is completely gone, and Invest 91L you can see is possibly a hurricane at 982 millibars, and then obviously Tropical Storm Danielle obviously going to be a fish storm still heading up towards the north at 972. And then forecast hour 180, we possibly have 2 hurricanes at the same time. Obviously going to be missing Bermuda, as you can see here pretty far off at a 958, and then Tropical Storm Danielle obviously going to start to dissipate here at a 967. So now we're going to switch our focus over to the European model. You can still see time and date up at the top of your screen. So this is what's going on right now. You can see Tropical Storm Danielle and Invest 91L, all that fun stuff as we just saw from the GFS. As you move into forecast hour 48, the European has this at a 997 millibar low, and then Invest 91L is a little farther south than what the GFS has, and the GFS has been pretty consistent with that. And now we're up to forecast hour 96, where Invest 91L is still kind of riding the coast of the Caribbean, and then Tropical Storm Danielle obviously up to a 988 as it heads off to the north. And then at the very end of the model run, you can see a little bit of a difference here with Invest 91L at a 992, looking like it's aiming to hit the US. So we'll have to be keeping our eyes on that very closely. But it's so far out, I really don't think that's going to happen. Right now, that's on September 11th for when this model run has it aiming towards the US. And then we possibly, also, I didn't even see this, we have a little possible disturbance down here towards the south, heading towards the Leeward Islands that could form into something as well. All right, so now we're going to be looking at ensembles. Basically what ensembles are, it's a bunch of models all put together onto one screen, and you'll just kind of see what it looks like here in a second. So here we have all the millibar lows, and those aren't all systems. That's all the models thinking of where that low is going to be. So here we're up here, you can see the forecast hour, time, and date up here on the upper right. So we're at forecast hour 48, and you can see a lot of the models for Invest 91L are pretty consistent with it kind of aiming with the Euro model of it kind of riding the coast of the Caribbean. And then here we have that wave coming off of Africa. Everything's pretty consistent there. And then obviously Tropical Storm Danielle up towards the north, really not moving much at all. So now we're up to forecast hour 120, and here you can see a little bit of model disagreements on Invest 91L. You can see some models have it kind of going to the right, to the left, or kind of keeping the same path, but it looks like the farther northeast it goes, you can see a 987 possibly low on that. And then it all just kind of goes sporadic from there. So here's obviously all the model runs for Invest 91L, and then here's that wave coming off of Africa. I don't think that's really going to form into anything at all. And then here we saw on the end of the Euro model, that little wave that we saw here it possibly is down towards the southern end of your screen. And then now we're going to try to switch focus over to Invest 91L. So you can see we have some deep convection kind of starting to form right here and kind of off towards the east as well. And water vapor, or actually not water vapor, we'll see the true color, you can see, but you can still see those thunderstorms starting to initiate towards right down here and up towards the north. So we'll have to see, hopefully this thing kind of gets its act together and we can form into a tropical storm. And then there's the water vapor as well as we just looked at as well on the true color. So here is the track guidance courtesy of Levi Cohen. We'll see a lot of him on the channel from Tropical Tidbits. So everything's pretty consistent up until the 72-hour mark, kind of going up here, and then everything kind of goes sporadic from there, as we saw from weathernerds.com, where we looked at the ensembles, where everything kind of went sporadic after that time. And now we're going to be looking at our shear map. So we'll get to a brighter color here. We'll use pink again. So here is Invest 91L right here. So down at the bottom of your screen, favorable is going to be where the storm would like to intensify at. Neutral is kind of the same thing, but unfavorable is where there's a big pocket of shear. And with tropical systems, you don't want shear for, well, obviously the storm doesn't want shear because that enhances its ability to form. But you can see right now it's kind of in the middle of everything. There's a pocket of shear to its south and up towards its north. But if you look farther down the road, there is a nice little pocket of shear for that thing to possibly intensify. And then here's kind of the same story. So the white lines on the different colors, the brighter colors, that's where the shear is at. So the white means it's increasing and the blue means it's decreasing. So up towards the north, obviously with Tropical Storm Danielle, we have a pretty good pocket of shear right here where that's usually always at. And then kind of here you can see with what we saw earlier, that pocket of shear where it's favorable for that storm to intensify. And then we'll be looking at our sea surface temperatures. So everything is still really hot, 29 to 31 degrees Celsius in the Caribbean, and then obviously up in the Gulf. we're seeing some really warm temperatures, 31 to 33 degrees Celsius, and then we'll show you guys that in Fahrenheit as well in case you don't want to do that conversion. There you go. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope you guys did enjoy. If you have any questions down in the comments, please let me know and I'll try my best to answer your questions. Make sure to subscribe, turn on those notification bell icons, and smash that like button, and I will see you guys in the next video.